I arrive at Le Jardin 3 minutes early, as always. The restaurant sits tucked between Union Square boutiques, its sidewalk tables filled with the Sunday brunch crowd. My heels click against the pavement, and I adjust my charcoal blazer before stepping inside. The hostess knows me. "Miss Moore, your father's already seated." Of course he is. Preston Moore doesn't wait for anyone, but he'll check his phone through an entire meal. I weave through tables of mimosa-sipping couples until I spot him in the corner booth. He's hunched over his screen, thumb scrolling, not even glancing up when I slide into the seat across from him, just a grunt of acknowledgement. "Morning, Dad." Another grunt. The sound of air kisses draws my attention. My mother, Meredith Moore, has stopped 2 tables away to greet a cluster of society friends. Her laugh carries across the dining room, practiced and bright. When she finally reaches our booth, she doesn't sit so much as arrange herself, smoothing her cream silk blouse before perching on the edge of the banquette. "Alana." She offers me her cheek, which I dutifully kiss. Her perfume is overwhelming, something French and expensive. "Mother." The waiter appears. "Good morning, Mr. Moore. Mrs. Moore." "The usual?" "Please," Preston says without looking up. "And for you, miss?" The emphasis stings. I've eaten here twice a month for 3 years, but I'm still, miss. Still the afterthought. Coffee, black, and the vegetable frittata. Meredith wrinkles her nose. "No mimosa, darling. It's Sunday. I have work this afternoon." "On a Sunday?" She sighs like I've admitted to something embarrassing. The roar of an engine announces Spencer's arrival before he even enters. Through the window, I watch my older brother unfold himself from a silver Porsche, tossing the keys to the valet with the casual arrogance of someone who's never been told no. He strides in 10 minutes late, grinning. Sorry. Got held up in Atlantic City. Unbelievable weekend, you guys. I'm talking $5,000 up on blackjack alone." Preston finally looks up from his phone. "Good for you, son." Spencer drops into the seat beside me, still buzzing with energy. "The suite they comped me. Dad, you wouldn't believe it. 2 bedrooms, marble everything." I sip my water and say nothing. The waiter returns with our drinks, and Spencer orders a Bloody Mary without checking the menu. "So," Meredith says, folding her hands on the table, "your father and I have been discussing the Tahoe cabin." My shoulders tense. "The renovation plans are finalized," she continues. 1.2 million, all in. New kitchen, updated master suite, and we're finally getting rid of that dusty old library. It'll become a proper media room. The words hit me like cold water. The library? "Oh, Alana, don't be sentimental," Meredith says, waving her hand. "Those old books are falling apart. Nobody reads them." I read them. Grandma Claire left that library specifically to me. It's in her will. The cabin is co-owned, remember? Preston sets down his phone. His voice is flat, bored. "Don't be difficult about sentimentality. We're improving the property value." I'm not being difficult. I'm stating a legal fact. Meredith's expression shifts, her smile sharpening. When she speaks, her voice carries to the neighboring tables. She wants it to. "Alana, dear, you should be grateful we even invite you to these brunches. Pity goes a long way in this family." The surrounding conversations dip. Heads turn slightly, pretending not to listen. Spencer smirks, his attention already back on his phone, scrolling through what looks like a casino app. My face feels hot, but I keep my voice steady. "Thank you for your honesty, Mother." She blinks, surprised I'm not arguing. Good, let her wonder. The waiter brings our food, and we eat in silence. I cut my frittata into precise squares, chewing slowly, buying time to think. My mind drifts back 2 years, to the awards ceremony. I'd won the 30 under 30 recognition for data science. The banquet hall was full of tech industry leaders, investors, people who understood what I'd built. A senior colleague from Stanford had approached our table, where my parents sat looking vaguely uncomfortable among all the engineers. "Mrs. Moore, you must be so proud. Alana's work in predictive algorithms is groundbreaking." Meredith had smiled, placing her hand over her heart. "We're just so proud she found a hobby she's good at. Poor thing, she always struggled socially, so this data work is perfect for her." The colleague's smile had frozen. I'd excused myself to the bathroom and stayed there for 15 minutes. Poor thing. That phrase has followed me my entire life. Back at the table, Spencer is describing some poker hand in excruciating detail. Preston nods occasionally. Meredith checks her reflection in a compact mirror. I'm their IT girl. The one who fixes Preston's email password every month. The one who built the entire Preston family office dashboard, integrating investment accounts, property records, tax documents. 8 years of free labor because I thought competence would earn respect. I was wrong. The meal ends. Preston signals for the check, which he signs without looking at. We stand, and Meredith kisses her friends goodbye on the way out. Spencer jogs ahead to photograph his Porsche in better light. I walk to my car alone, the San Francisco fog rolling in from the bay. My hands shake slightly as I unlock the door. For 8 years, I believed if I just worked harder, built better systems, made myself indispensable, they'd finally see me as valuable. But Meredith's words stripped away that delusion. Pity. They invited me out of pity. I sit in the driver's seat, not starting the engine. My pity for them is the only reason they're protected. My skills, freely given, have shielded them from their own incompetence. Preston wouldn't last a week without my dashboard. Spencer's gambling would have bankrupted him if I hadn't flagged those transactions months ago. The fog presses against my windshield. I have master administrator access to everything. Every account, every investment, every password. Preston signed the authorization document 5 years ago without reading it. He just wanted his portfolio updated faster. No more free expertise. I start the car and drive home through the gray afternoon. By tonight, I'll perform my fiduciary duty, protect the assets before I resign. It's Sunday evening, which means I have time. They think I'm the poor thing who needs their pity. They have no idea what's coming. Sunday night, I open my laptop in my Russian Hill apartment. The city lights glitter through the floor-to-ceiling windows, but I'm not looking at the view. My grandmother's mahogany desk, the one piece of furniture I claimed from her estate, holds my MacBook and 3 external monitors. Routine maintenance. That's all this was supposed to be. I pull up the Preston family office dashboard, the system I built from scratch. Investment portfolios, property records, trust accounts, credit card statements. Everything integrated. Everything tracked. Dad calls it Alana's magic spreadsheet, when he bothers to mention it at all. The transaction history loads. I'm scanning for the usual patterns when a series of withdrawals catches my eye. Spencer's checking account. $50,000 in March. $42,000 in April. $63,000 in May. My pulse quickens. I filter by merchant category. Atlantic City. Every single one. I open a secondary screen and map the transactions chronologically. The pattern emerges like a rash spreading across skin. 18 months of escalating theft. Not occasional gambling. Systematic looting. I total the amounts. $350,000. My hands hover over the keyboard. This isn't carelessness. This is addiction. And nobody's noticed, because I'm the only one who actually reads these reports. I switch tabs to the Tahoe property records. The renovation permits Meredith mentioned should be filed with the county by now. There. Submitted 2 weeks ago. Permit applicant. Meredith Moore. Project description. Interior remodel including removal of non-load-bearing walls in northeast section. The northeast section. That's the library. I click through to the contractor invoices. $180,000 already paid. Deposit cleared last Wednesday from the family trust account. They didn't just talk about it over brunch. They're already doing it. My screen flickers. A red notification box appears in the corner. High priority security alert. Concurrent user session detected. I check the timestamp. 9:47 p.m. Someone else is logged into the system right now. I pull up the active sessions panel. Spencer's username. He's in the wire transfer module. $50,000. Payee. Borgata Hotel Casino and Spa. The transaction is sitting in the approval queue, waiting for the nightly batch process at 10 o'clock, 13 minutes from now. My chest tightens. If that transfer goes through, it's one more theft I've enabled by building a system so smooth he doesn't even have to think about it. I have a choice. Let it process, or stop it. Pity goes a long way in this family. My fingers move across the keyboard. I trigger the emergency backup protocol, the one I installed 3 years ago when Dad asked for extra security measures. He signed the authorization, never read it. Terabytes of data begin copying to encrypted external drives. Every transaction, every email, every signed document. 8 years of evidence. 9:52 p.m. Preston signed the Master Administrator Agreement 5 years ago. I remember watching him scrawl his signature, distracted by a phone call, while I explained the emergency powers clause. Yeah, whatever you need, just make it work. What I need. He gave me unilateral authority to freeze accounts during suspected fraud or misuse. Spencer's $50,000 wire transfer is misuse. 9:58 p.m. I open the dual authentication protocol. Every account, every credit card, every investment platform. I activate two-factor authentication and change the master passwords to randomly generated strings 60 characters long. Spencer's transfer fails first. Transaction declined. Authentication required. I remove overdraft protection from all checking accounts. If Spencer's already overdrawn, he'll find out tomorrow morning. The 11 family credit cards take longer. I have to disable each one individually. Amex Platinum. Visa signature. The Barney's card Meredith uses for her wardrobe. All 11 show red. Status. Inactive markers. The investment accounts are last. I implement a 72-hour hold on all transactions. No trades. No withdrawals. No transfers. 10:04 p.m. My hands are shaking now. Not from fear. From clarity. This isn't revenge. This is containment and consequence. I have a fiduciary duty to protect these assets. The trust my grandmother established names me as co-trustee with Dad, another document he signed without reading. I'm not stealing. I'm stopping the hemorrhaging. I'm protecting the family assets from the family. The emotional distance feels strange, like stepping out of cold water onto warm sand. For the first time in years, I'm not trying to earn their approval. I'm doing my job. I open a new browser tab and navigate to my secure email. Vanessa Hargrove, attorney at law. We met 2 years ago at a Women in Tech conference. She handed me her card and said, "If you ever need someone who understands both family law and financial litigation, call me." I typed the message carefully. Subject: urgent, trust violation and property dispute. Vanessa, I need your help. Attached is documentation of systematic trust fund theft and unauthorized property modifications. I'm exercising my emergency powers as co-trustee to freeze accounts pending investigation. I need a cease and desist drafted for contractors, county permitting office notification, and litigation prep. Can you meet tomorrow? I attach the financial reports, the contractor invoices, the permit applications. Grandmother's will with the library provision highlighted. Send. 10:31 p.m. My phone sits on the desk, screen dark. By morning, it will explode with notifications, 17 voicemails, 43 texts. But tonight, it stays silent. I draft the resignation email. To Preston Moore, head of Preston Capital. CC. Spencer Moore, Meredith Moore. Subject: resignation, system administrator position. Effective immediately, I am resigning as legal system administrator for the Preston Family Office. Security protocols have been updated per the emergency provisions in our signed agreement dated March 2020. All administrative access has been restricted pending resolution of trust compliance issues. Direct all inquiries regarding the Tahoe property to my legal counsel, Vanessa Hargrove, Alana Moore. My cursor hovers over send. They think I'm the poor thing, the grateful daughter who should accept their pity. They built their comfortable lives on my invisible labor. Preston's tech illiteracy masked by my competence. Spencer's addiction funded by accounts I maintained. Meredith's social standing protected by my silence. I click send. 11:47 p.m. I power off my phone. Tomorrow morning, the chaos begins. Preston's Amex will decline at the airport lounge. Spencer's casino markers will be called. Meredith's wire to her interior decorator will bounce. They'll realize, too late, that the IT girl was never the problem. She was the solution they took for granted. And solutions, once removed, leave very obvious problems behind. The first decline happens at 9 in the morning. Preston's American Express Platinum card, the one he's carried for 23 years, gets rejected at the SFO airport lounge. I'm not there to see it, but I can picture his face. The confusion first, then irritation, then that particular shade of red he turns when confronted with incompetence. Except this time, the incompetence isn't someone else's. 15 minutes later, Spencer's casino markers get called in simultaneously. 3 different Atlantic City properties, all demanding immediate payment. The timing isn't coincidental. His credit lines were structured through the family office accounts, and those accounts no longer recognize his authorization codes. At 9:30, Meredith's standing wire transfer to her interior decorator bounces. She's been paying Claudette $5,000 monthly for the past 18 months, most of it for the Tahoe renovation that will never happen now. I wonder if Claudette will be the one to tell her, or if the bank will send one of those polite but firm letters about insufficient funds. By 10, my phone has 17 voicemails, all from Spencer. I don't listen to them. I'm sitting in my Russian Hill apartment with my second cup of coffee, watching the fog burn off the bay, and I feel nothing. No guilt, no satisfaction. Just a cool, clean sense of completion, like closing a perfectly balanced spreadsheet. Preston's assistant calls at 10:15. I let it go to voicemail too. The family group text erupts at 10:22. I have notifications silenced, but I check it anyway, just to see. Spencer. Alana, what the hell did you do? Preston. Call me immediately. Meredith. This is outrageous. How dare you embarrass us like this? Spencer. I'm serious. Call me now. Preston. I'm contacting our attorneys. I set the phone down and finish my coffee. Wednesday morning arrives with gray skies and the faint smell of rain. Vanessa's office occupies the 42nd floor of a downtown high-rise, all glass and steel, and the kind of quiet that comes from thick carpet and thicker doors. I arrive 10 minutes early, as always, and wait in the conference room she's reserved. Preston comes through the door at exactly 9, flanked by 2 men in suits. I recognize the type immediately. Corporate attorneys, the kind who bill $800 an hour and speak in careful, measured clauses. He doesn't greet me. Just takes the seat directly across the table and folds his hands. Restore access to the accounts. Immediately. Vanessa doesn't look up from her notes. Good morning, Mr. Moore. Thank you for coming. I'm not here for pleasantries. I'm here because my daughter has committed theft and sabotage, and I want it corrected before I'm forced to take legal action. I meet his eyes. I haven't stolen anything. I've protected assets from ongoing theft. That's absurd. Is it? Vanessa slides a folder across the table. We'd like to discuss Spencer's gambling activity. Specifically, $350,000 in unauthorized withdrawals over the past 18 months. One of Preston's attorneys reaches for the folder. His colleague leans in to read over his shoulder. I watch their expressions shift as they process the transaction logs, the casino records, the pattern analysis. I spent 8 years building systems to track. Preston's jaw tightens. Spencer's personal spending is none of your concern. It is when it's theft from family accounts, Vanessa says. And it becomes very much Alana's concern given her role as master administrator with fiduciary responsibility to protect assets. The second attorney clears his throat. May I see the authorization document? Vanessa produces it. 3 pages, Preston's signature bold and careless at the bottom. I remember the day he signed it, 5 years ago, barely glancing at the text. He'd been in a hurry to make a tea time. The attorney reads slowly. His face goes pale. Mr. Moore, this grants unilateral emergency powers to the administrator, for asset protection purposes. End quote. What does that mean? Preston's voice has lost its edge. It means she had full legal authority to do exactly what she did. The silence stretches. Outside, a cable car bell clangs in the distance. Rain starts tapping against the windows. This is still theft, Preston says, but the certainty has drained from his tone. I lean forward. I'm proposing an audit. Full forensic accounting of all family office transactions for the past 2 years. We'll examine every withdrawal, every wire transfer, every check. If I've done anything improper, I'll face consequences. But Spencer submits to the same scrutiny. Preston stands. Absolutely not. Then we'll see you in court, Vanessa says pleasantly. I'm sure the discovery process will be enlightening. His attorneys exchange glances. The first one touches Preston's arm. May we have a moment with our client? They step into the hallway. Through the glass wall, I watch them huddled together, voices urgent and low. Preston's face shifts from anger to confusion to something that might be fear. They return after 8 minutes. We need time to review the documentation, the first attorney says, and to discuss options with our client. Of course, Vanessa says, We're available for further conversation whenever you're ready. Preston walks out without another word. His attorneys follow, carrying copies of everything we've presented. The door clicks shut with a sound like a vault closing. I exhale slowly. You did well, Vanessa says. Staying calm. I've had practice. They'll be back, probably with different demands, definitely with a different strategy. But you saw their faces when they read that emergency powers clause. I did. I saw the exact moment they realized Preston had signed away his control without understanding what he was signing. The same carelessness that's defined his parenting has finally come back to bite him. My phone buzzes. A text from Rachel, my former colleague from the data science firm. Heard you might need a character witness. I'm here if you need me. Another buzz. David, the bank manager I've worked with for 6 years. Your signatory status is documented and valid. Let me know if you need official confirmation. And another. Marcus from IT security. I can validate your protective protocols. They're textbook proper. I didn't ask any of them to reach out. Word must have spread somehow, through the professional network I've spent a decade building. The same network my family dismisses as my data hobby. Thursday evening finds me at my kitchen counter, eating takeout pad thai and reviewing emails, when my phone lights up with Vanessa's name. He's retained Mitchell Crawford, she says without preamble. I just got the notice. I set down my chopsticks. Crawford. That's the firm that handled the Westfield estate case. Top-tier litigation. He's not messing around, Alana. This means he's preparing to sue. I should feel anxious, threatened. Instead, I feel something sharp and bright unfurling in my chest. Good, I say. He's taking the bait. Vanessa's laugh is quiet but genuine. You're really something, you know that? I learned from the best. He taught me to always have a plan. And what's yours? Discovery. He wants to sue me? Perfect. That means subpoenas, full accounting. Every transaction, every document, every dirty little secret the Preston family office has been hiding. He's so focused on controlling me that he can't see the trap. This could get ugly. It already is ugly. Now we're just making it official. After we hang up, I pour myself a glass of wine and stand at my window. The city lights are starting to glow through the fog. Somewhere out there, Preston is probably sitting with Crawford, outlining his case, painting me as the ungrateful daughter who betrayed the family. Let him. He has no idea how much documentation I have. 8 years of meticulous records, every conversation logged, every authorization saved. I've been building this fortress without even knowing I'd need it. My phone buzzes one more time. Spencer, I'm checking into rehab. It's bad. I need to talk to you. I stare at the message. The first communication from him that isn't threatening or demanding. I don't respond. Not yet. Let him sit with that need for a while longer. Outside, the fog rolls in thick and gray, swallowing the city whole. The email from Vanessa arrives on a Tuesday morning, 2 weeks after our meeting with Preston's lawyers. Subject line, Crawford filed. I'm in my apartment, coffee growing cold beside my laptop. I open the attachment. Mitchell Crawford's name sits at the top of a partition action lawsuit, thick with legal terminology that boils down to one thing. Preston wants the Tahoe cabin sold, claims I've mismanaged it, demands the majority share. My phone buzzes. Vanessa's text. Call me. I dial. She answers on the first ring. He's painting you as the problem. She says. Waste and mismanagement. Failure to maintain the property. The usual BS when someone wants to force a sale. I lean back in my chair, staring at the fog rolling past my window. He opened the door. Exactly what I was thinking. Discovery goes both ways. How soon can you file the counter motion? Give me 48 hours. I'll attach your grandmother's will, request full discovery for proper asset valuation. Every document in the Preston family office becomes fair game. Do it. After we hang up, I pull up the news alert. Vanessa forwarded. A local Tahoe newspaper picked up the story. Tech Dynasty Property Battle screams the headline, accompanied by a photo of the cabin. The article quotes sources close to the family, claiming the dispute involves a difficult daughter unwilling to compromise. Meredith's fingerprints are all over this. My mother has always been a master of the whisper campaign. By noon, she'll have called every woman in her country club circle, spinning the narrative. Poor Preston and Meredith, dealing with their ungrateful daughter. All they wanted was to improve the family property. I close the laptop and finish my coffee. Let them talk. Words won't save them from what's coming. Thursday afternoon, my phone rings from an unfamiliar number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Alana? The voice is rough, uncertain. Spencer, where are you calling from? Payphone at the rehab center. They monitor our cells. He pauses. I've been here 2 weeks. Clearer now. Thinking straighter. I wait. I'll testify, he says, words tumbling faster. I'll tell you everything. About the offshore accounts in Bermuda, the consulting firm that only exists on paper. Dad's been falsifying tax documents for years, and I've watched him do it. I don't want to be them anymore, Alana. I can't. My pulse quickens, but I keep my voice steady. Why the sudden conscience? Because I finally understand what you did. You didn't destroy the family. You stopped us from destroying ourselves. His breath catches. Just protect me from him. Please. Dad doesn't forgive disloyalty. Send everything you have to Vanessa. Document names, account numbers, anything you remember. I will. I promise. The line goes dead. I sit with the phone in my hand, processing. Spencer's cooperation changes the equation entirely. Preston miscalculated, assuming family loyalty would override everything else. He forgot that loyalty requires respect. That evening, my voicemail fills with messages I don't listen to in real time. I wait until after dinner, pouring a glass of wine before pressing play. Meredith's voice pours through the speaker, saccharine and poisonous. Your grandmother would be ashamed of you, Alana. Truly ashamed. You're destroying our family legacy over a room full of dusty books. Is this really worth it? What happened to the daughter I raised? I save the recording, date and time, stamp preserved. Evidence of harassment, if we need it. The next message is more of the same. Then another. 6 in total, each one escalating from disappointment to anger to barely concealed desperation. I don't respond. Strategic silence is its own weapon. Vanessa files the counter-motion Friday morning. I read through her work during my lunch break. It's surgical. She welcomes the partition action, requests comprehensive discovery for proper valuation, and attaches Grandmother Claire's will with its explicit designation of the library to me. The subpoenas she's prepared cover every Preston family office record dating back 15 years. The trap isn't subtle. Anyone with legal training will see it immediately. But Preston committed when he filed first, and backing out now would look worse than moving forward. By Monday, the cracks start showing. Preston leaves 3 voicemails, each one tighter than the last. The first asks me to be reasonable. The second threatens consequences for obstruction. The third is silent, except for heavy breathing and a muttered curse before he hangs up. Meredith stops calling me directly and starts texting extended family members. My phone pings with messages from cousins I haven't spoken to in years, all variations of, "What's going on?" and "Can't you work this out?" I respond to none of them. Wednesday afternoon, Vanessa sends me a photo. County inspectors posted a stop work order on the Tahoe cabin. The permit violations have caught up with them. Daily fines are accumulating. The contractors, still unpaid for months, filed preliminary lien notices. The renovation Meredith wanted so badly is hemorrhaging money while sitting frozen. Spencer texts Vanessa directly, "I want out of this family." She forwards it to me with a single word, leverage. I'm reviewing the forensic accountant's preliminary findings when my phone rings. Vanessa, voice tight with controlled excitement. Crawford knows. He figured out what discovery will expose. And? He's scrambling. Called me an hour ago, fishing for settlement terms. Very casual, perhaps we can resolve this without extensive litigation. I smile at my reflection in the darkened window. What did you tell him? That my client is perfectly comfortable with the discovery process, that we have nothing to hide and welcome full transparency. How did he respond? Dead silence for 10 seconds. Then he said he'd be in touch. After we hang up, I pull up the evidence files. Spencer's information, combined with my 8 years of documentation, creates a devastating picture. Tax evasion, worth $2.3 million. SEC violations in multiple transactions. A systematic pattern of fraud that Crawford's legal obligation requires him to report if it comes out in discovery. Preston built his empire on competence he didn't have and rules he didn't follow. I was the scaffolding holding it up, and I walked away. Now the whole structure is collapsing. Friday morning, Vanessa calls before I finished my first coffee. Crawford wants a meeting. Monday. Neutral location. He specifically requested Preston come without Meredith. He's ready to settle. He's terrified. This isn't about the cabin anymore, and he knows it. I look around my apartment, at the life I've built separate from them. Set it up. I'll be there. Alana. Vanessa's voice softens. You've got him. Whatever happens Monday, remember that. I end the call and stand at my window, watching San Francisco wake up below me. Somewhere across the city, Preston is realizing his mistake. He thought he could intimidate me into submission with a lawsuit and social pressure. Instead, he handed me the key to everything. Monday can't come fast enough. On Monday morning, the conference room at Vanessa's law firm feels like a stage. Floor-to-ceiling windows frame the Bay Bridge, and the morning light catches the polished walnut table. I sit with my spine straight, hands folded in my lap, watching Preston and Mitchell Crawford enter. Preston won't look at me. He's aged in these 6 weeks. Gray at his temples, deeper lines around his mouth. Crawford carries a leather briefcase, his suit pressed within an inch of its life. Let's get this settled, Preston says, dropping into a chair. His voice has an edge I haven't heard before. Desperation, maybe. 500,000. Cash. Today. I don't react. Vanessa shifts beside me, pulling out her tablet. That's remarkably generous, Vanessa says, her tone flat. Considering your family is, as you put it last week, cash poor. Crawford clears his throat. My client is offering a substantial settlement to resolve this matter quickly and quietly. Quickly, I repeat, because of the discovery deadline next Friday. Preston's jaw tightens. Don't be dramatic, Alana. This is business. My phone buzzes. A text from Meredith to the extended family group chat, forwarded by my cousin Rachel. Alana's greed is tearing this family apart. She's demanding millions over a property she barely visits. Please call her and talk some sense into her. I turn the screen toward Vanessa. She glances at it, then makes a note. Mr. Moore, Vanessa says, are you aware your wife is currently conducting a coordinated harassment campaign against my client? Meredith is upset, Preston says. Can you blame her? Her own daughter is extorting the family. The word lands like a slap. Extortion. He's setting up his narrative, testing how it sounds out loud. My phone rings. Aunt Caroline. I decline it. 30 seconds later, Uncle Richard calls. Decline. Then Cousin Michael. They'll keep calling, Preston says. Everyone knows what you're doing. Everyone knows what you told them I'm doing. I correct. There's a difference. Crawford leans forward. Miss Moore, let's discuss the legal realities of your position. Your emergency powers authorization could be interpreted as a breach of your fiduciary duty, freezing family accounts without proper cause, denying access to legitimate funds. These actions open you to significant liability. Proper cause, Vanessa echoes. Like stopping $350,000 in unauthorized gambling withdrawals? We dispute that characterization, Crawford says smoothly. Spencer Moore had implied authorization to access trust funds for personal use. Implied. Vanessa taps her tablet. Interesting word choice. Preston shifts in his seat. Look, Alana, I know you're angry about the brunch comment. Your mother was out of line, but this has gone too far. Accept the 500,000. We'll restore your system access, you sign a release, and we all move on. Or, I ask, or we proceed with our ethics complaint to the California bar? Crawford says, we'll argue you abused your administrative privileges for personal gain, that you manufactured this crisis to leverage a payout. Vanessa's smile is sharp. Please proceed with that complaint. I'd love to see it. Preston leans back, trying to regain control. You have 48 hours. After that, the offer drops to 250,000. The ultimatum hangs in the air. My phone rings again. This time it's Spencer's number. I stare at it until it stops. We have a counter-presentation, Vanessa says. She connects her laptop to the projection screen. If you'll indulge us for a few minutes. Crawford exchanges a look with Preston. This is irregular. Humor us, I say. Vanessa clicks to the first slide. Spencer's name appears at the top, followed by a timeline. Red bars chart withdrawals over 18 months, each one linked to specific Atlantic City casinos. The total at the bottom, $350,000. Slide 1, Vanessa narrates. Spencer Moore's systematic theft from the Preston family trust. Preston's face doesn't change, but his hand grips the armrest. Click. Slide 2 fills the screen. Bank statements, highlighted in yellow. Email timestamps. Preston's signature on quarterly reports I'd prepared, each one noting irregular withdrawal patterns requiring review. Slide 2. Preston Moore's documented knowledge of the theft. 6 months minimum. Possibly longer. This is Crawford starts. Please hold your objections until the end, Vanessa says pleasantly. Click. Slide 3 shows offshore account records. Bermuda. Falsified tax documents. Consulting fees that never corresponded to actual consulting work. The figure at the bottom makes my stomach drop even though I've seen it before. $2.3 million in undisclosed foreign assets. Slide 3. Tax evasion. We have documentation of deliberate concealment of foreign accounts, falsified business expense deductions, and unreported income. The IRS would be very interested in this material. Preston's face has gone gray. Actually gray, like old newspaper. Crawford is whispering urgently in his ear, but Preston isn't listening. He's staring at the screen. Click. Slide 4 lists SEC violations. Stock trades made on insider information, undisclosed conflicts of interest, misrepresentation of fund performance to investors. Each charge followed by potential prison time. Slide 4. Securities fraud. Multiple violations. We estimate between 5 and 7 years of federal prison time if prosecuted. This is extortion, Crawford says, but his voice has lost its confidence. This is evidence, Vanessa corrects. Which brings us to slide 5. The final slide shows email chains. Meredith's messages to contractors, all dated before the Tahoe property demolition. Just get it done. I'll handle Preston. We don't need permits for interior work. Start demo on the library this week. Below that, an audio file icon. Vanessa clicks it. Preston's voice fills the room, tinny through the speakers but unmistakable. I don't care how you do it, just handle it. The timestamp is from 3 years ago. A conversation about withdrawing funds from Spencer's sub-account to cover his gambling debts. Preston knew. Preston authorized it. Preston covered it up. The silence in the conference room is complete. So, Vanessa says, closing her laptop. Let's revisit your settlement offer. $500,000 and a 48-hour deadline. Does that still seem reasonable to you? Crawford is writing furiously on a legal pad, his pen scratching across the paper. Preston finally looks at me. His eyes are hollow. How long have you been planning this? Since the moment Mother called me a pity case, I say. He closes his eyes. When he opens them, something has broken behind them. Draw up the papers. I'm sorry? Vanessa asks, though we both heard him perfectly. $2 million, full buyout of the Tahoe share, mutual non-disclosure, release of all claims against Alana. And you scrub her admin access after she restores ours. His voice is mechanical. No admission of wrongdoing. Standard settlement language. Crawford touches his arm. Preston, we should discuss. No, Preston stands. We're done. Get it drafted today. I want this finished. He walks out without another word. Crawford gathers his briefcase, his face carefully neutral. I'll have documents to your office by end of business, he says. When they're gone, I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. The wire transfer will clear before you leave the building, Vanessa says. I'll make sure of it. My phone buzzes. Spencer, texting from rehab. Thank you for saving me. Another buzz. Meredith's voicemail notification. I play it on speaker. This isn't over, Alana. You think you've won, but you've lost your family. I hope it was worth it. I delete it. Then I block her number. Was it? Vanessa asks quietly. Worth it? I look out at the bay, at the water glittering in the morning sun. 8 years of exploitation, ended in 3 hours. Yes, I say. It absolutely was. 6 months after the settlement, I stand in my penthouse kitchen, watching the fog lift over the San Francisco Bay. The view stretches 270 degrees, from the Golden Gate to the Bay Bridge. No neighbors. No shared walls, just glass, sky, and water. The private elevator chimes. My guests are arriving. I smooth my emerald cashmere sweater and walk through the living room. No family photos clutter the shelves. Instead, my 30 Under 30 award sits on a custom pedestal near the window, catching the afternoon light. Art from local galleries covers the walls. My achievements, my choices, my space. The library occupies the entire west wall. Floor-to-ceiling walnut shelves hold Grandma Claire's book collection, relocated from Tahoe and arranged exactly as she kept them. Poetry on the left, classics in the center. Her beloved mysteries on the right. I run my fingers along the spines as I pass. Vanessa Hargrove steps off the elevator first, holding a bottle of wine. This place still takes my breath away. Every single time. I agree. The others follow. Marcus from my consulting firm. Elena, my former Stanford colleague. David and his husband James. 3 women from my support group. 8 people who showed up when it mattered. We gather around my dining table as the Sunday afternoon sun slants through the windows. Same hour as those awful brunches. Different universe. Elena passes the salad bowl. My sister just asked me to plan Thanksgiving again. 3rd year in a row. No offer to help, just an expectation. Marcus laughs. Did you say yes? I said I had plans. Do you? Vanessa asks. Now I do. I'm going to Hawaii. By myself. Everyone cheers. David leans back in his chair. My mother called yesterday, asked if I could just quickly review her tax documents. I told her my rate is $300 an hour, family included. What did she say? I ask. She hung up, then texted that I'd changed. You have, James says, squeezing his husband's hand. For the better. I raise my glass. To boundaries. To boundaries, they echo. Someone mentions the stress of upcoming holidays, the anxiety of forced family dinners, the guilt of saying no. I set down my fork. I see my family every day. You're sitting at my table. The words land in comfortable silence. Elena's eyes shine with tears she doesn't bother hiding. Later, as we clear dishes, Vanessa pulls me aside. Preston Capital sent you a business inquiry last week. I know. I deleted it. Without responding? Without hesitation. I stack plates in the dishwasher. He can afford someone else's expertise now. My phone buzzes. A new client inquiry. A tech startup needs data infrastructure consultation. $500 per hour, 10-hour minimum commitment. I respond with my standard contract language, professional and clear. My worth isn't up for negotiation anymore. That evening, after everyone leaves, I pour myself wine and step onto the balcony. The city lights begin twinkling below. The Bay Bridge gleams against the darkening sky. My therapy journal sits on the side table. I flip back through entries from 6 months ago. Maybe I overreacted. The progression is stark, the self-doubt gradually transforming into clarity. Last week's entry. I saved myself. Spencer visits tomorrow. 6 months sober now, attending meetings, rebuilding his life. He called last week to ask if we could have coffee. His voice was different, clearer. Present. I need to apologize properly, he'd said. Not the bullshit, I said at the settlement. A real apology. Okay, I'd told him. I'm listening. We're building something new. Distant but honest. He's no longer the golden child of a toxic system. I'm no longer the scapegoat. We're just 2 people trying to do better. Preston and Meredith exist somewhere in Palo Alto. I wouldn't know. Complete no contact. Their numbers blocked. Their emails filtered to trash. Their grip on my life severed permanently. My consulting business has 12 regular clients now. I turned down 3 projects last month because they didn't align with my values. That power, that choice, still feels new. I mentor a young woman named Sarah who reached out after hearing me speak at the Women in Tech conference. Her family treats her like their personal IT department while mocking her career. The pattern was painfully familiar. Charge them, I told her. Or walk away. Your expertise has value. Charge accordingly. Last week she sent me a message. I walked away. Thank you. I open my journal to a fresh page and write. Mother said pity was why they included me. She was right about one thing. Pity was involved. My pity for them kept me trapped. Her cruelty was the key that freed me. In trying to diminish me, she revealed my true worth wasn't in their acceptance, but in my own capabilities. Some would call my actions cold. I call them necessary. The family safe was built by my hands. When I finally changed the combination, I locked them out and freed myself. I close the journal. My phone buzzes again. 2 new client inquiries. I walk into my home office, leaving the past behind on that balcony, dissolving into the San Francisco night where it belongs.